Long before credit cards, before paper money, even before the very idea of a coin, this was a world of barter. If you were a farmer with a surplus of wheat, you had to find someone who needed wheat and had something you wanted, like a new pair of sandals. This system was cumbersome and inefficient. It required what we call a coincidence of wants. You had to want what they had, and they had to want what you had, all at the same time. The universe of trade was small and limited by direct exchange. This was the primordial state of human economy, a system waiting for a revolutionary spark. A new idea was needed to connect people and their goods across greater distances and different needs. Then, a brilliant idea began to emerge in the minds of our ancestors. What if there was an object, something everyone agreed had value? This object could act as an intermediary. You could trade your wheat for this special item, and then use that item to trade for sandals later. This concept of money was a cosmic leap forward for civilization. The first forms of this proto-money were often natural objects, shiny seashells, rare stones, or even specific types of grain. These items were portable and somewhat durable, but they lacked uniformity and were not always easy to divide. The search was on for a material that could truly unlock the potential of a global economy. Enter the age of metals. Humans discovered how to extract metals from the earth. First among these was copper. It was relatively easy to find and simple to work with. You could melt it and shape it. This reddish-brown metal was not just useful for tools and weapons, it held a special allure. Its metallic gleam and satisfying weight made it feel valuable. Long before it was shaped into perfect circles, lumps and rings of copper were used as a form of currency in places like ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. These weren't coins as we know them today, but they were a critical step. They were units of value, weighed out on scales to complete a transaction. This was the dawn of metallic money. The universe was nudging humanity toward a more sophisticated system. These early forms of copper currency were the ancestors of every coin in your pocket today. They represented a fundamental shift in how we think about value. Value was no longer just in the thing you could eat or wear. It could be stored in a piece of metal. This abstract concept was revolutionary. It allowed for the storage of wealth, the payment of debts, and the funding of grand projects like pyramids and temples. The journey of the humble copper coin had begun, not with a jingle in a pocket, but with the clank of raw metal on a merchant scale, marking the birth of modern economics. So, why copper? Of all the elements forged in the hearts of dying stars, why did this particular one become so crucial for our economic journey? The answer lies in a beautiful convergence of properties. Copper struck a perfect balance. It wasn't as rare or as valuable as gold or silver. You couldn't make a king's crown out of it, but that was its strength. Gold and silver were for large transactions, buying land, funding armies, or paying tribute to an emperor. They were the currency of the 1% of the ancient world. But what about buying a loaf of bread, a cup of wine, or a handful of olives? You needed a metal for everyday life. Copper was abundant enough to be accessible to the general population. It could be mined and smelted without the massive resources required for precious metals. This availability meant that rulers could produce large quantities of low-denomination coins. This was a game changer. It democratized the economy. For the first time, common people, soldiers, artisans, and farmers could easily participate in a cash-based market. The universe of commerce expanded from the wealthy elite to the bustling streets and marketplaces. Copper became the people's metal, the workhorse of daily transactions that formed the backbone of ancient economies. It was the humble engine of civilization's progress. Another key property of copper is its durability. Think about it, a coin passes through thousands of hands. It gets dropped, scratched, and exposed to the elements. You need a material that can withstand this cosmic battering. Copper is tough. It doesn't easily corrode or break down. A copper coin could circulate for decades, even centuries, carrying its stamp of value across generations. This longevity gave people confidence in the currency. They knew the coin they accepted today would still be valuable tomorrow. This stability is the bedrock of any successful monetary system. Without it, trust collapses, and the economy grinds to a halt. Finally, copper is a fantastic metal to work with. It has a relatively low melting point, making it easy for ancient metalsmiths to cast. It is also malleable, which means it can be stamped with intricate designs. This was incredibly important for rulers. A coin wasn't just money, it was a piece of propaganda. It was a tiny, metallic billboard that could travel throughout the empire and beyond. Rulers could stamp their own faces on coins, asserting their authority. They could commemorate military victories, celebrate religious festivals, or depict gods and goddesses. Copper allowed for this detailed messaging to be mass-produced and distributed to every corner of their realm, a powerful tool for communication and control. Let's travel back in time, to the great civilizations that laid the foundations of our world. In ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, people were already using weighed pieces of copper as currency thousands of years before the first true coins appeared. Imagine a bustling market in Babylon. A merchant wouldn't count coins but would place copper rings or bars on a scale to balance against a standardized set of weights. This was a crucial intermediate step. It established copper as a trusted medium of exchange. The system was based on weight, a universal constant, which built trust and facilitated trade across the Fertile Crescent. These were the humble, unadorned ancestors of the coins we use today. The ancient Egyptians also revered copper. They mined it extensively in the Sinai Peninsula and used it for everything from tools and statues to surgical instruments. Like the Mesopotamians, they used copper by weight for trade. These transactions, recorded in hieroglyphs, show us an economy where metal values were well understood. For large payments, they used gold or silver, but for the daily business of life, copper was king. Paying workers, buying food, and compensating artisans were all done with measured amounts of copper. It was the lubricant for the massive economic machine that built the pyramids and sustained one of history's longest-lasting civilizations. The real revolution came with the Greeks. Around the 7th century BCE, the Lydians, in modern-day Turkey, created the first true coins from a natural alloy of gold and silver called electrum. The Greeks quickly adopted and perfected this idea. While their silver drachmas are famous, they also produced vast quantities of copper and bronze coins for smaller transactions. These coins, called chalkoi or obols, were essential for the functioning of the Greek polis, or city-state. They allowed citizens to buy goods in the agora, pay for theater tickets, and make small religious offerings. These small coins empowered the democratic spirit of Greece, making commerce accessible to all. The Romans, however, took the use of copper coinage to a cosmic scale. The Roman Empire was a vast, interconnected economic powerhouse, and it ran on copper. Their early currency was based on large, cast bronze bars, called as rood. Later they developed a sophisticated system of coins, with the copper as and its fractions, semis, quadrans, forming the basis of everyday Roman life. A legionary's salary, a trip to the public baths, or a meal at a tavern were all paid for with these heavy copper coins. The sheer quantity of Roman copper coins they minted is staggering. Finding a Roman copper coin in Britain or North Africa today is a testament to the incredible reach of their economy, all powered by this humble red metal. The idea of the copper coin was too powerful to be contained. Like a supernova, it exploded out of the Mediterranean and spread across the known world. The Roman Empire acted as a massive distribution network. As their legions marched and their merchants sailed, they carried Roman currency with them. From the misty shores of Britain to the deserts of Syria and the forests of Germany, Roman copper coins became a familiar sight. Local tribes and kingdoms that traded with the Romans began to understand and use this new form of money. Many even started to imitate Roman coins, creating their own local versions that mimicked the designs of the powerful empire. As Rome's influence waned, the seeds it had planted began to grow into new, unique monetary systems. In the Byzantine Empire, the successor to Rome in the East, copper coins called phallus continued to be a vital part of the economy for 1,000 years. Meanwhile, the Islamic caliphates, which expanded rapidly across the Middle East, North Africa, and Spain, also adopted coinage. They minted their own beautiful copper coins, known as fulus. These coins were distinct, featuring intricate calligraphy from the Quran, instead of human portraits, but they served the same essential purpose, facilitating trade and daily life within a vast and diverse economic zone. The journey of copper coins didn't stop there. The trade routes of the Silk Road, became arteries for both goods and ideas, including the concept of coinage. Copper coins from the West traveled eastward, influencing the development of currency in Persia, India, and beyond. In India, various kingdoms began issuing their own copper coins, with unique symbols representing local rulers and deities. This metallic messenger connected disparate cultures, creating a common language of value that transcended borders and languages. A merchant could travel thousands of miles, his purse filled with coins that would be understood and accepted in markets he had never seen before. Even in East Asia, a parallel evolution was taking place. In China, cast bronze coins, with a distinctive square hole in the middle, had been in use for centuries, long before the first Greek coins. These cash coins were strung together in counts of 100 or 1,000, creating a highly practical system for both small and large transactions. This design was so successful that it remained in use for over 2,000 years. When European traders arrived in the 16th and 17th centuries, they found a sophisticated monetary system already in place, one that also relied on the power of copper and its alloys. The universe of commerce, it seems, had independently discovered the utility of this amazing metal in different corners of the globe. The widespread adoption of copper coins had a profound, almost cosmic impact on the very fabric of human society. It fundamentally changed how people interacted with each other and with the world. Before coins, trade was limited and local. With a standardized, low-value currency, markets could flourish. Specialized professions became more viable. A baker no longer had to trade bread for pottery. He could sell his bread for copper coins and then use those coins to buy whatever he needed. This created a more dynamic and efficient economy, allowing cities to grow larger and societies to become more complex. This new cash economy also transformed the relationship between rulers and their subjects. Taxes could now be collected in coin rather than in goods. This was far more efficient for the state. A storehouse full of grain could rot, but a treasury full of copper coins was durable and easy to manage. This reliable stream of revenue allowed governments to fund massive public works projects, maintain standing armies, and pay for a professional bureaucracy. The small copper coin circulating among the masses became the financial bedrock that supported the power and stability of empires. It was the tiny gear that turned the great wheel of the state. For the common person, copper coins represented a new kind of freedom. It was the freedom of choice. A farmer could sell his produce at market and save his earnings for a future purchase. A soldier could receive his pay and send it home to his family. Wealth, for the first time, became portable and divisible in a way that was accessible to everyone. This ability to save and spend with flexibility encouraged thrift, planning, and small-scale entrepreneurship. It empowered individuals and gave them a small measure of economic independence that had been unimaginable in a purely barter-based world. The jingle of copper in a pocket was the sound of newfound opportunity. Furthermore, the circulation of copper coins connected communities in unprecedented ways. A coin minted in the capital city could find its way to the most remote village in the empire, carrying with it a tangible piece of the central authority. This created a shared economic identity. When people from different regions used the same currency, it fostered a sense of belonging to a larger whole. The coins acted as a constant, subtle reminder of the empire's reach and the interconnectedness of its people. Commerce became a unifying force, and the humble copper coin was its primary agent, weaving together the economic tapestry of civilization. Copper coins are more than just money. They are tiny, durable time capsules. Because copper is so malleable, it can capture incredibly detailed images. Ancient rulers quickly realized the potential of this metallic canvas. Early coins were often crude, stamped with simple geometric shapes or animals. But as minting technology improved, the designs became miniature works of art. The Greeks, renowned for their artistic skill, produced bronze coins of breathtaking beauty, featuring lifelike portraits of gods, goddesses, and mythological creatures. These weren't just coins, they were expressions of cultural pride and artistic mastery, broadcast to the world on a metallic stage. With the rise of the Roman Empire, coin design became a powerful tool of state propaganda. The emperor's portrait was stamped on the front of almost every coin. This was a brilliant move. In a world without photography or mass media, coins were the only way most people would ever know what their ruler looked like. The reverse side of the coin was used to send a message. An image of the goddess Libertas could announce a new era of freedom, while a depiction of a bridge could celebrate a new public works project. A coin commemorating a military victory could bolster public morale. Each coin was a carefully crafted piece of political communication, a message from the emperor held in the palm of your hand. As centuries passed, minting technology continued to evolve. The earliest coins were made by hammering a metal blank between two engraved dies. This was a slow, manual process, and no two coins were exactly alike. During the Renaissance, geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci sketched ideas for machines that could mechanize the process. By the 17th and 18th centuries, the screw press was introduced, allowing for much greater pressure to be applied evenly. This resulted in coins that were more uniform, with sharper details and raised rims that prevented clipping, which was the illegal shaving of metal from a coin's edge. The Industrial Revolution brought steam power, enabling the mass production of coins on a scale never before seen. This technological progress is reflected in the coins themselves. Compare a rough, off-center Roman copper coin to a perfectly round, sharply struck British copper penny from the 19th century. The difference is a story of scientific and engineering advancements spanning nearly 2 millennia. The designs also changed to reflect new values. Monarchs were joined or replaced by national symbols, coats of arms, and allegorical figures representing liberty and justice. The coin evolved from a personal statement of a ruler to a symbol of national identity, a transformation made possible by our ever-improving mastery over the laws of physics and mechanics. When the newly formed United States of America decided to create its own currency, it looked to the lessons of history. The Coinage Act of 1792 established the U.S. Mint and authorized the production of the nation's first coins. High-value coins were made of gold and silver, but for the everyday transactions of a new democracy, the nation turned to copper. The very first coin produced for circulation by the U.S. Mint was the 1793 chain cent. It was made of pure copper and was about the size of a modern half-dollar. Its design, featuring a depiction of liberty on one side and a chain with 13 links on the other, was meant to symbolize the unity of the states. The design of the 1-cent piece, or penny, has been a mirror reflecting America's changing identity. The early Liberty Cap and draped bust designs gave way to the classic Indian head cent in 1859. This design, which actually features Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, became one of America's most beloved coins and circulated for half a century. It was the coin of the Civil War, of westward expansion, and of the Gilded Age. It was in the pockets of cowboys, inventors, and immigrants as they built the modern United States. The copper penny was a constant, familiar presence during a period of profound national transformation. In 1909, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny was redesigned again. This was a historic moment. The Lincoln cent was the first circulating American coin to feature the portrait of a real, historical person. President Theodore Roosevelt, who admired Lincoln, championed the new design. The image of the great emancipator, a man who fought to preserve the Union, struck a deep chord with the American people. This simple copper coin became a powerful and enduring symbol of American values, unity, freedom, and the belief that anyone can rise from humble beginnings to achieve greatness. For over a century, the Lincoln cent has remained a fixture of American life. Though its composition has changed over the years, from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc since 1982, its identity is forever linked to that reddish-brown metal. It's the coin you find on the sidewalk for good luck, the one you use to make a wish in a fountain, and the first coin many children learn to count. Phrases like "a penny for your thoughts" and "penny pinching" are woven into our language. More than just 1 cent, the penny is a piece of Americana, a tiny monument to a great leader, and a direct descendant of those first copper coins from thousands of years ago. The universe of copper coins is filled with strange and wonderful facts. For instance, did you know that copper has natural antimicrobial properties? The specific arrangement of electrons in a copper atom acts as a potent weapon against bacteria and viruses. On a copper surface, microbes can die within hours. This contact killing is a marvel of chemistry. For centuries, people handled copper coins daily without realizing that the coins themselves were helping to reduce the transmission of germs. In a way, these coins weren't just facilitating economic health. They were contributing in a small way, to public health as well. Here's a mind-bending thought about the sheer number of pennies. The US Mint has produced over 300 billion pennies since the Lincoln design was introduced in 1909. If you were to stack all of those pennies one on top of the other, the stack would reach over 285,000 miles high. That's far enough to go past the moon. It's a staggering number that demonstrates the scale of modern currency production. Each of those tiny coins has been on its own journey, passing through countless hands, cash registers, and piggy banks, each one a tiny particle in the vast ocean of the American economy, all tracing their lineage back to a star that forged copper billions of years ago. Have you ever heard of a mule coin? It's not an animal. It's a fascinating and rare error in the world of coin collecting. A mule is a coin that is mistakenly struck with the front die, or obverse, of one coin type and the back die, or reverse, of another. One of the most famous examples involves a Lincoln cent. In 2000, a small number of pennies were accidentally struck with the reverse design of a Roosevelt dime. These rare hybrids are collectors' dreams and can be worth a fortune. They are cosmic accidents, beautiful mistakes that remind us that even in a process of mass production, chaos and chance can create something unique and valuable. The iconic reddish-brown color of a new penny isn't permanent. As a copper coin is exposed to the air and the oils from our hands, it undergoes a chemical reaction. The copper slowly oxidizes, creating a layer of copper oxide, which darkens the coin and gives it that familiar brown patina. If left to the elements for a long time, it can even develop a green or bluish coating called verdigris, similar to what you see on the Statue of Liberty, which is also sheathed in copper. Every old penny you find tells a story of its chemical journey through time, its color a testament to its interactions with the environment and the people who have held it. Today, we stand at a crossroads in the long history of money. In a world of digital transactions, credit cards, and mobile payments, what is the role of the physical coin? The copper penny, once the workhorse of the economy, is now a subject of debate. Some argue that it costs more to produce a penny than its face value of 1 cent. Countries like Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom have already phased out their lowest denomination coins to save money and streamline transactions. The question for the United States is whether the penny's cultural and historical significance outweighs its declining economic utility. The future of the penny is uncertain. It may one day become a relic of the past, joining the Roman, and the British farthing in the Museum of Monetary History. Yet, even if the penny ceases to be minted, the legacy of copper in our currency will endure. Copper remains a vital component in our other coins. The nickel, dime, and quarter all contain copper, usually as a core metal sandwiched between layers of a nickel alloy. This gives the coins durability and their specific weight and electromagnetic signature, which is crucial for vending machines to recognize them. Copper is the unseen hero, providing the essential backbone for our modern coinage. Beyond its use in coins, copper is more important to our technological civilization than ever before. This amazing element, forged in the heart of a long-dead star, is the lifeblood of our electronic world. It is in the wiring that carries electricity to our homes and the intricate circuits inside our smartphones and computers. The very devices we use for digital payments are themselves dependent on copper. So, in a cosmic twist of fate, the same metal that gave us our first physical coins is now enabling the digital revolution that may one day replace them. Copper's role in the transfer of value is not ending, it is simply evolving. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a moment to appreciate its incredible journey. This small disc of metal connects you to ancient kings, Roman legionaries, and the builders of a new nation. It represents a revolutionary idea that transformed human society. Whether it remains in our pockets or becomes a cherished collectible, the story of the copper coin is a story about us. It's a story of innovation, of art, of economics, and of our endless quest to create systems that connect us all. The universe is full of wonders, and sometimes the most profound stories are found in the smallest of objects.